Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the south. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready, boy. You better not miss Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker P. Check this out.
I'm just so fresh, so clean. Good morning, Baton Rouge. And hey, it's a beautiful day, and the sun is out, and the birds are chirping. And you're tuned in to the 47th edition in the year 2016 of the Louisiana All American Sports Show. Good morning. This is Eric Hatfield.
And I'm Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P. And Coach.
And okay, well, we have Coach Perry Daniels coming to us via the World Wide Web. We might have lost him just momentarily, but hey, the internet giveth, and the internet taketh away. So, you're Gerard Piper, aka Joker P, and
Coach Perry Daniels.
we got Coach on the line. See, he was there the whole time. And hey, it's a great day for sports. So we're just gonna get on the swimming trunks and proverbially jump right on in. Today is November the 19th, 2016. So last night took us out to took us to a lot of different places. It took us to a place that Louisiana All American Sports hasn't been, by my count, in about 5 years, and also to a different venue. We went from the gridiron to the hardwood, and we were out at Glen Oaks High School, the historic Glen Oaks High School, with the historic basketball program led by legendary coach Harvey Adger, as the McKinley Panthers played their first game of the year, their 2016-2017 debut, as Coach Boudreaux led his team to North Baton Rouge against the Glen Oaks Panthers. So it was a battle of Panthers, and the McKinley Panthers came out on top with a 63-53 win in the Louisiana All American Sports first basketball game of the week.
Wow, and what a game it was. I thought McKinley came out and executed their game plan. We saw Coach at the beginning of the game, and Coach Boudreaux, and we talked to him, and he came over to the table, and he said, it's time to get to work.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to do this day by day. And I thought he had the motivation. He had these guys come out. They wasn't too rusty. They came out with great defense, and, of course, it was led by the man of the hour, our player of the game.
Oh, Tyrese Radford. And we're gonna have. I think that's not gonna be the first, not be the last. Michigan Trolls trying to get in. I can't flip over yet. D. Try to three-way with Perry. But yeah, Tyrese Radford. Was spectacular last night, man. I mean, this kid. He is now. There's no question.
Silky smooth. Yeah. Gave him a nickname.
Oh, the caterpillar. Because for those of you kids that paid attention in biology class, the caterpillar is the silkworm, and he was silky smooth. And his nickname is going to be the caterpillar because he is really looking just as smooth as silk. There's no other way to put it. He's just, his freshman year, he was a kid that kind of got on our radar. Like, wow, he's pretty good. Last year, he kind of stood out as being the most talented player on that team. But this is his team this year, and he's only a junior. So that bodes very well for McKinley High School, and he's still growing too. So there was that, and then just the other observation I'd like to make about that game was that we were at Glen Oaks, and I'll tell you, that building, that gym, it's very, when you walk in there, it's very easy to kind of, if you're old enough to remember, to kind of be taken in by the history of that school and that program. You walk in and you see the trophy case just full of brass basketballs.
Right.
You walk into the gym, which is just a lovely gym. It's just well painted, well kept up, nice looking facility, especially considering you're in an urban area in North Baton Rouge. And you see all the banners hanging up on the walls, and Lester Earl's jersey and Ryan Francis's jersey and Miss Veal, I can't remember her first name to save my life. Died. Shannon Veal, died way too soon. And you see all the history there. And you look at Coach Adger, won 800 games. And the thing that kind of stood out to me, though, is the last one of those little signs on the wall was in 2013 when Glen Oaks made it to the top 28. There's a top 28 banner on the wall. And I thought to myself, this year is going to be 2017 when the school year ends, and if Glen Oaks doesn't get back to Lake Charles, it's going to be an entire class of Glen Oaks students that never saw their basketball team go to the top 28, even make it to the state semifinals, which is just, if you've been around long enough to know the reputation and history of that program, it's almost unfathomable to think that. But with a lot of underclassmen on that team and a lot of developing going on, that's probably the position that Coach Adger is in right now.
Well, I think actually,
that's real.
Go ahead, Coach.
That's a really interesting observation, Eric, and very astute of you to recognize that. And I'm going to say that the last interview that you all had last night is the main reason for that absence in the top 28. Coach Jeff Jones no longer being at Glen Oaks High School. He played such an intricate part of making sure that they had the right Jims and Joes, while Coach Adger created the X's and O's to get them consistently to that state semifinal level. Also, it was interesting that, Coach Boudreaux actually started, Coach Boudreaux, the current McKinley High head basketball coach, he actually started his high school coaching career right there at Glen Oaks High School under Coach Adger. Coach Brister, the
Right.
principal of McKinley High, he was a former football coach over there at Glen Oaks. But right now, Coach Signator is part of the administration over there at Glen Oaks. Also Miss Wisham from Madison Prep is now over at Glen Oaks as well. So there's a rich history there, and it's just a matter of time before they right that ship. And I'm not ready to count them out of making it back this year, because that team may not have been firing on all cylinders last night, and I had the privilege of watching them a couple of nights before that lose to Bel Air. But you just know that by the end of district, Coach Adger is going to have them ready to play, and if they make it to the playoffs, anything is possible.
Right. Well, that's definitely a family tree that you mentioned, all of those coaches. It's just a testament to Coach Adger and the knowledge and the longevity he's been there and the success that he has had and being able to teach the other coaches that you named. And all of those guys are pretty successful too, so that just speaks well of Coach Adger, man.
Coach Jones, all right.
Yeah. He's done a little bit.
And Miss Wisham, he said guys, but Coach Wisham led Madison Prep to a couple of track state championships. So, now she's over at Glen Oaks, so watch out for that as well.
Wow, they've got something special going over there.
And Glen Oaks did play. I thought they may have been outmatched a little bit for his talent-wise, but when he went to the full court press, this was in the second quarter, also in the fourth quarter, they were able to disrupt McKinley a little bit and pull themselves back in the game. So those guys fought hard last night, and they never was able to get the lead, but they was able to kind of rattle McKinley a little bit. McKinley started to take their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and that full court press gave McKinley some problems.
It did. I'm looking forward to watching McKinley basketball this year. It's almost the first time we've seen them. It's probably a little too soon for me to make astute observations, but I will say that last night was definitely a great way to dip our toes in the water, get our audience ready to roll. And I've got high expectations for McKinley, and I'm going to keep that one eye on Glen Oaks.
I do too.
Even last year in the East Baton Rouge Parish tournament, the one they have near around the Christmas holidays, Glen Oaks knocked off a couple of teams they weren't expecting, quote unquote, to knock off. I mean, you don't never underestimate the will of a champion, especially a championship coach.
Well, let's see the rematch, because these guys are going to meet again here real soon, and let's see the adjustment that Coach Adger makes Monday night.
And you will hear that rematch. You can hear it live Monday night on Louisiana All American Sports.com, or you can hear it if you're a creature of habit. Most of us are. You can hear it same time, same place, 7 p.m. Right here on 96.9 FM WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio, streaming at WHYR.org on Friday night at 7 p.m. So look, we got high school basketball is in effect, but hey, what's still going on is that we still have
playoffs.
We got playoffs and we got football. So we got just got to text from Derek that I'll share later in the show that's unsettling. But anyway, we got football, and we had a lot of action going on last night. I'm going to read the scores out in order. There are definitely two games we want to talk about, and one game that has a young man we've been talking about for quite some time on there that we'll discuss. But let's knock it down real quick for the Baton Rouge area scores. First of all, in the non-select brackets in Class 5A, Central was felled by Parkway 26-14, but props to the Wildcats even for getting to the second round. They were an underdog. Zachary hammered East Ascension 51-17, so that will bring the Spartan season to an end. Sanoma continues on as they defeated Barb 16-6 in what must have been a defensive slugfest. So that sets up some very interesting matchups next week. Class 4A, as I'm looking, Plaquemine. This isn't a typo, folks. Plaquemine 71, Woodlawn Shreveport 30. Plaquemine was the 11th seed. Woodlawn Shreveport was the 6th seed. So that is curious. I wonder what that game film looked like. Livonia's season comes to an end as 5th seeded Minden defeated them 35-28. Livonia had a pretty impressive run though this year. Nothing to hang their heads about there. In Class 3A, West Feliciana defeated Erath 42-14. So that top seed continues to truck on. A meet 59, South Beauregard 19. And make sure I'm not skipping anything up. That's all we have from this area in that round. Class 2A, Madison Prep 42, Mangum 0. Not really surprised there. If you've been keeping an eye on that team, they have been plowing along all year long. In Class 1A, actually I don't have any. We don't have any. That's really strange. Oh, here we go. There's a. We got it. Let me pop it open. The Advocate put a reverse on me in that one. Class 1A, we have. Let me scroll down a little bit. We have Kentwood, who defeated Delta Charter 46-0. White Castle season came to an end at the hands of Arcadia 26-16. Varnado blasted Elton 50-0. And where is the Southern Lab score? Derek, do you have a...
Southern Lab defeated Ascension Catholic 36.
Southern Lab won.
Okay, I see why. That's a select school. That's why it's not popping up here. But that's good to know, as we always keep an eye. That's what I call a member program. In the select scores, the one that the couple of games that were huge in Division I, huge. First of all, a shocking result. Not so much of who won, but what the final score was. Brother Martin, 28. Catholic, 0 at Olympia Stadium. Now, Clyde Edwards-Alaire did come out of the game with an injury kind of in the middle of the game, but still, one man does not that team make. Catholic is done. So Brother Martin put it on him hard. And in Scotlandville, in what was an epic matchup last night, it was 20-20 in the fourth quarter. Scotlandville took the lead late, and their defense was able to hold on and rub out St. Aug 27-20. So that sets up Brother Martin traveling to Scotlandville next week in the semifinals. That is going to be huge. Division 2.
Here,
yes, sir.
at one point, that score was 20-7 St. Aug. And Scotlandville came back and scored 20 unanswered points.
Levi
Lewis, baby.
That's not the first time we've seen that this year. They've been able to win all the close games. So this guy's this year is really clutch. These guys have been pulling it off in the fourth quarter, and that shows a great team. The number 2 seed, I also see that U High was a 7 seed. They end up defeating Loyola Prep, which was the 2nd seed, 41-25. So U High seems to bounce back. Early in the year, they had a couple of missteps. But it seems now, hey, they're on their way to semifinals.
Yeah, Coach, they got some. The coach for half. He's a bright coach. He's almost a savant, and I'm impressed that he was able to dig out of an early hole. U High defeated Loyola Prep 41-25. Parkview Baptist over Turlings 38-21. So that sets up some very interesting semifinals next week. 2 Baton Rouge area schools in there. St. Thomas More, by the way, 56. E.D. White 7. So a lot of Baton Rouge flavor in that division, and St. Thomas More will host U High next week. In Division 3, we have the only remote Baton Rouge area involvement was Notre Dame 52, and they put an end to Country Day season 52-14. In Division 3, we have Southern Lab 36, Ascension Catholic 13. So Southern Lab is moving right along into the semifinals, and we'll definitely keep one eye on that, as that is a program we've watched for quite some time. So that is a wrap of the Baton Rouge area. Playoff scores. Once again, a lot of Baton Rouge involvement very late. Some, almost all Baton Rouge, if you will, going very, very deep into the prep football playoffs. But Coach hit the nail on the head. The one that I almost had a little warm and fuzzy trying to follow last night was the Scotlandville game. I'm just really, really happy for Levi and those kids and that program. Scotlandville is now a football and a basketball school.
And most definitely. So is Madison Prep.
Oh, yeah.
In a short amount of time.
Yes, indeed.
Well, did I hear y'all say Brother Martin has to come to Scotlandville?
That is correct, sir.
I think Scotlandville fans needs to make it very uncomfortable for Brother Martin, because they have had 2 straight shutouts. They haven't allowed a touchdown in the playoffs. So, hopefully Scotlandville can score on them.
Remember to turn the mic off.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, D. Continue.
Hopefully Scotlandville can score on them and just, hey, get some revenge for McKinley. You beat up our Baton Rouge area school, we're going to get you back. So I'm going to be rooting for Scotlandville that game.
Oh, I absolutely positively will be rooting for Scotlandville, Derek. I agree with you. You make a point. Brother Martin hasn't given up a single touchdown, has not given up a single point in the postseason so far. So it is going to be a true battle, but I'll tell you, Scotlandville having that home field.
Well, McKinley did score on them, but they took the touchdown back. You remember?
Yeah, don't get me started. That was a tough night for a great season. So, Joker?
Well, you guys want to go to the musical break right about now? We definitely can.
All right, so I'll just hand this over to Joker.
Yeah, and, hand that over to me.
So Joker,
we're going to take a break right now. I think you guys are going to like this song. This, of course, is Goody Mob.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah. Which one is it?
Well, it's featuring Janelle Monáe. It's called Special Education.
Cool.
You guys
all right.
Check this out.
Awesome.
I'm going to have to mute my microphone so I can...
There we go.
They call him Kip Zaga, it's the mutant Mr. Get Down.
Everyone wants to be the same. If you are listening here right now, I'm sure I can show you how. It's okay to be afraid. Don't you wanna be special?
There we go.
And that was the Goody Mob featuring Janelle Monáe, Special Education. I thought that was a great video and a great message for today.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Even CeeLo come back.
I liked it. I like that part too. Well, that was Goody Mob, man.
Yeah, the Goody
That was
Mob.
Goody Mob the way I remember them. They haven't lost a step, man.
Yeah, people forget about the Goody Mob.
Hey, man, the favorite line in that song is, let me put it in plain English, I'd rather be dead than not be distinguished.
I like that.
That is, as Chris Rock would say, that is art. No, that was I like that a lot, man. So look, back from the ATL to the BTR. And hey, guess what today is, folks? It's Saturday.
What's
and
today?
it's a day that hey, we got to take ourselves out to the Bluff, man. As
It's going down. Yeah. How about them Jaguars?
boy, how about them Southern University Jaguars out there on the Bluff today, as it is senior day. And, the Southern Jaguars, man, we've been saying it all year. This is one time I like to sound like a broken record. And I've been saying, I can honestly say, I told you, although it's not really that bold of a prediction for anyone who's been following them, keep an eye on this team. This could be a special team. Keep an eye. This team could be special. And they've continued to win. They continue to win, no matter what. Money on my mind. Anyway, as as they defeated Prairie View A&M in Prairie View, Texas last week. That runs their Southwestern Athletic Conference record up to 7-0. They have Mississippi Valley State today at A.W. Mumford Stadium. That game will start at 4 p.m. It can be heard on 106.5 FM KQXL. Also, it can be seen on Jags All Access. I think you have to have a subscription for that. Just go to gojagsports.com to check that out. Now, last week is actually the first time in a while I didn't get to listen or see the game, but I was able to follow on the Gamecast. And Southern, for the second week in a row, when they had a chance against a quality opponent, put their foot on Prairie View's throat in their own building, in their own stadium, and just crushed the windpipe there as they defeated Prairie View. They put that game away when they had the opportunity to. This Southern team is not only undefeated, but they're getting better every week. I mean, they're improving every week because they're putting opponents away. I was really concerned all the way up through really up until the Texas Southern game. I was concerned about the lack of a killer instinct, their inability to put opponents away when they had a chance. They've done it 2 weeks in a row now. They have the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. By the way, it's the white game, so wear your white today at A.W. Mumford. It's the fans wear white today. It's senior day. I expect them to send the Delta Devils to where Devils belong and pretty much run roughshod over Mississippi Valley, setting up a collision course with the Grambling State University Tigers for the Southwestern Athletic Conference Western Division Championship in the Bayou Classic in New Orleans.
I don't know whether to be offended or agree with you.
Hey, I'm just speaking truth.
That's where we belong.
Look,
Okay,
the state of Mississippi.
you understand, Derek? I do mascot humor. I do animal humor. It's all in good fun. The name is Devils. It's in the name. It's in the name. That's y'all, not me. But
He never makes fun of the Blue Devils, though, Derek. He never makes fun of the Blue Devils.
okay, I would be sure to do that. I have no problem doing that, baby.
That's a proud MVSU alum. All I would like to see is my Delta Devils be able to compete. But with the talent that Southern has on the field, I just don't see that happening. I think Tillery ran for 240. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 245 yards last week?
He ran up a tab.
He may run for 400. I don't anticipate him playing the whole game because what does it mean to play him and you have a lead against a team that probably won't be able to score much on your defense? Rest up your starters and your playmakers to go against a very talented Grambling State team. But in the words of Willie Scott and every other Southern alum that I talk to, they take every game 1 week at a time. So they may choose to play their starters the whole game. I would not because Valley can't compete with Southern. They just can't.
So who are you picking?
Southern. I mean, I'm not going to bet on my Delta Devils and lose my money. I'm a smart man now. I have a degree from Mississippi Valley State, so that means I was taught how to think critically. As much as I would like to see a stunt bowl too, that's the game I call the upset, the 6-0 upset that started Dawson Odoms on his way as the head coach of Southern. As much as I would like to see that happen again, with the horses that Southern has on offense and on defense, when Southern's defense is on, that front seven is dangerous. Then you have Danny in the defensive backfield. I mean, he may have 2 or 3 picks today because he is a prime time shutdown corner.
Coach, you got to have. I'm sure you have some input on this on the penultimate regular season game leading into the Bayou Classic.
Hey, we just want people to go out and support that tremendous football team. This may be one of the best Southern Jaguar football teams in history. The only other team that could possibly compare is maybe the early 90s under Coach Pete Richardson.
Right.
So, keep that in mind, that this is the last chance you're going to see these seniors play in A.W. Mumford Stadium. Other than that, man, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of how many yards Willie Quinn will have receiving, how many yards Tillery will have rushing, and how many yards the quarterback will have. So Southern's going to win this game.
Yeah, I also second that. I think Southern's going to win this game. Southern has the momentum. Man, they've been playing so well. Eric mentioned in the prior games, they were able to hold off teams, and I think that speaks volumes to them, having the senior leadership and being able to finish off and be able to finish off those type of games. I'm not expecting a hiccup right here. That's the only thing that I can see if Southern go in is too overconfident and looking past Mississippi Valley, and but other than that, you got to go with Southern.
I will eat this jersey if Southern does not win that game. I also want to make sure. I can't remember if I said Southern would win or not. But I'm picking Southern too. So we have Southern all around here. So let's see. We got the fresh.
And what a matchup, man! Grambling is coming. The anticipation is growing, man. People around the city are talking about it, and this Bayou Class is going to be one barn burner. It's going to be one for the ages. And Coach just said that this probably is the best Southern team we've seen in the history. That's saying something real big, because Pete Richardson had some great teams in the '90s of being able to get to the championships, the Black Heritage Bowl, and everything like that in Georgia.
The 03 team, remember that one? That's when LSU and Southern had the play together. Remember that?
So, Coach, you really think this is probably the best Southern team in history?
So hey, let's get that 79 caddy with the bumper falling off.
Hold on! Before we crank up the caddy, Coach Jeff Jones broke some news last night on our Friday night broadcast, mentioning that Grambling State receiver Chad Williams has been invited to the NFL Players Association camp. So this young man out of Madison Preparatory Academy may have an opportunity to play in the NFL. He may actually get drafted.
I would so love that for him. Perry, I actually met Chad Williams' brother last spring when I was doing kind of, I guess you call it a pickup practice with some of my semi-pro teammates, and I just happened, he looked just like Chad. I said, "You don't know Chad Williams?" He's like, "Yeah, it's my brother." He says that Chad is up, in the gym 5 o'clock every morning. His mind is on making it to the NFL, and he's doing everything in his capacity to prepare for it, and he is starting to see the fruits of the labor pay off. If there was ever any kid from this area that I was rooting for personally, Coach, it is definitely Chad Williams, and so that was really, that really lifted my spirits to hear that.
Most definitely. It just tells me that more eyes are getting on out from the NFL and from professional teams to Baton Rouge area. We're starting to see a lot more guys, not only in basketball but in football, getting looked at and getting invited to these camps. And so I just think that's a big thing. You can't do nothing but get bigger.
All right,
Eric.
Yes,
I'm going to hold you to eating that jersey if we win.
All right. Get that hot sauce ready. So, okay, now we're going to crank up the caddy. I'm going to get some coat hanger wire and get my bumper back on so it won't drag on the ground. And
on the other side of town, moving quickly, rolling swiftly in the hookie ride.
so, hey, we're going to roll across. And actually, we literally are on the other side of town. We weren't expected to be on the other side of town for this game. And this game actually wasn't supposed to be played today. But, of course, due to the forces of nature and tropical activity, the LSU-Florida game was supposed to be played in Gainesville earlier this year. They had to move that game. There was no makeup date scheduled for a couple of weeks, but finally LSU moved a game they had against a mid-major opponent. I want to say it was South Alabama. They paid them out their payout money, and they moved the Florida game to today. So LSU hosts Florida at home. They get an unexpected home game. Of course, they will have to go to Florida 2 years in a row. But this is a big game. In a way, it's big for Florida. Florida is pretty much on pace to take the SEC Eastern Division, and they're on a collision course with Alabama, and don't 100% write them off for the college football playoff. They're a long shot, but I wouldn't write them off, because if you win the SEC, your name is in the hat automatically, at least for discussion. LSU has no chance of winning the West. They have no chance of advancing to the playoff. They do have a chance of advancing to the Sugar Bowl, which is still a big deal for an SEC school, at least if you're not going to play for the national championship, and that's certainly far more than was expected earlier this year when Coach Les Miles was dismissed after LSU's first Southeastern Conference loss. And last week, LSU not only beat Arkansas, a team they've had a lot of trouble with period over the years, and particularly in Arkansas, and particularly any opponent after losing to Alabama, they've often folded. They clobbered Arkansas. Yes. Darius Geis with a 96-yard run. He was the SEC Player of the Week. I think he had it was a near historic effort. Like it was either the second or third greatest yardage total in either SEC history or LSU history. It was huge. He had 240 some odd yards. It was crazy. They pounded Arkansas, so they went past my expectations. So they got Florida because it's in Tiger Stadium, and because I think Florida still has some weak spots on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to pick LSU, but I think it's going to be a good battle.
It's going to be a great battle. Actually, the week before, Fournette set the record for LSU single game rushing record, and here comes Darius Geis right behind them. I picked LSU last week to beat Arkansas, and the reason why is because I saw LSU's defense when they played against Alabama. It just was a little step behind on the offensive end, but be able to hold Alabama scoreless for 3 to 4 quarters, and I thought that actually motivated them for this week. I don't see another team beating LSU this year. I think they're going to beat Florida, and I also think they're going to beat Texas A&M. So it remains to be seen. I thought Danny Edelin played a great game last week. He wasn't as nervous in the pocket. Of course, it was Alabama. So I think this week, being at home against Florida, another big game, I think LSU is going to win. I'm picking LSU to beat Florida handily. Yes.
I'm also going to pick LSU. But because Florida does have a lot of injury issues, they're backup quarterback, backup linemen, backup defensive backs. LSU is just too strong up front. LSU also has some injury issues of its own because Fournette's ankle is going to keep him out of this game. But Darius Geis is going to be able to carry the load as well as hopefully Nick Brissett and Williams getting a few carries in also. So I'm going to pick LSU running away. I think it's going to be a blowout, 42-21.
Coach?
Hey, let's get our special guest on.
We got him on the hotline.
For our listeners, we have a very special guest right now. We have an interview with Coach O. Hey, Coach O, why don't you tell us your thoughts regarding this week's game against the Florida Gators?
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Coach?
Coach, and thanks for calling us this morning. Wait. We gotta turn up the.
We gotta make.
Coach. Oh, okay, Coach. I'm sorry.
Sure
that was. Here we go. Come again, Coach. Okay. Coach Perry.
All right. Well, so tell me, Coach O, that's great. What about how do you think that your quarterback is going to perform against this Florida team?
Alrighty.
Okay.
And what about if you happen to win today? What do you think? What about the Sugar Bowl and you being a native of Louisiana and coaching an LSU team in the Sugar Bowl? What are your thoughts regarding that?
I'd be very honored as well, Coach Perry.
Coach
Great,
O, man.
Coach, we appreciate that. We want to thank you for coming on Louisiana All American Sports. I've got about 2 more questions to ask you, and then we'll let you go because we know you've got a big game that's kicking off very soon. So, Coach, let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide and your thoughts regarding that game and the great Nick Saban.
I think that's his version of
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Last question. Last question. So Coach O, give your appeal for being named the head football coach for the LSU Tigers for the year 2017-18.
Live a by another day. We live a by another day. Yes.
Wow. That's some strong stuff.
Yeah, that really was.
Coach, we thank you for joining us. You're welcome here in Louisiana All American Sports anytime.
Coach
Luego
Jordan has
estamos
my vote.
pusieron de día, y recibe que un padre de ahí.
Coach Ed Ogeron, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we want to thank you for coming on.
Oh
good
man,
luck today.
what a character, Coach
Hey man,
Ogeron.
I'm gonna take LSU today as well.
All right, so that's it. We're all around LSU. I've got some guarded. I've got some optimism now. I'm feeling kind of good. All right.
Yeah, man, he said a mouthful, you know.
Sound like he had us. Of course, if you listen to this show regularly, you know about me putting my foot in my mouth, and we all kind of do it a little bit, as we have, as always. I told you
let's
so.
see how we did.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Let's get the predictions. We've got Southern and Prairie View coming up tonight. Who do you have in that game?
I'm going to take the Jaguars in that one.
LSU, Arkansas.
I think I'm going to have to go against, as much as I hate to pull against the Tigers, but it's going to be the Razorbacks.
The Broncos, the defending Super Bowl champions, coming to the Dome this weekend.
And who do you have in that game, Coach?
I'm going with the Saints. I watched them play last week. They should have a little confidence. They're running the football now and not throwing it 50, 60 times a game. So I'm going to roll with the Saints.
And today we're going to choose one other game. We're going to choose the Vikings against the team that plays out of Washington, D.C. Who do you have in that game?
The Vikings have dropped a couple or what? I'm going to still go with the Vikings.
It's not going to be easy. I like the Jaguars in this. I'm slowly becoming a believer now. I got the Jags in this.
Yeah!
Hey, I'm picking the Jags too. I want to congratulate.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Southern here as well. Prairie View can't stop the run.
And I'm going to go with Arkansas in this game.
I'm going to go with LSU in this game. I think LSU's defense showed me that, to me, they're one of the top defenses in the SEC.
So, I'm going to choose Arkansas in this game today as well. I don't see LSU being able to give their energy and emotion back up after the Alabama game.
I'm going to pick.
This is tough. Boy,
I know, man. I'm gonna pick the Saints.
This is a
I'm
tough
gonna
pick.
go out on that ledge. I'm gonna pick the Saints.
You're going to go on that ledge and pick the Saints. Where are they playing at?
They're in the Superdome.
In the Superdome. I'm going to change I'm going to amend my pick. I'm going with the Saints. What about you, Coach?
I'm going to go with Denver.
I think the Vikings get off the schneid in this one. I think they defeat the Americans, and America.
I'm going to go with Minnesota in this game. What about you,
Awesome.
Coach?
I'm going to go with the Americans here in this game.
Wow.
Yeah, I swung and missed a lot last week.
I think I broke even in that game, but that Saints game, wow. I haven't seen a game like that in a long time.
Him in my soapbox,
Going
please.
for the lead, to kick the extra point for the lead, and end up giving up a 2-point run back. And the guy was out of bounds. Now,
Reach into the bathroom, Joker, and hand me that soapbox so I can stand on top of it for a second. We got the national. Hang on a second. We're going to talk about the National Football League.
So we didn't last week. I thought we made predictions about the Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers game. Was I correct? Because I remember picking Dallas. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I was talking.
You know what? Like I said, I'm taking care of 2 infants. I don't get a whole lot of sleep, so I might be forgetting. I don't believe so, but the Dak attack is strong, and we have a lot of time left, so we might have a chance to discuss them. But let's talk about the home team, the New Orleans Saints. First of all, a couple of issues with last week. You know, the NFL has taken a lot of steps with reviewing all turnovers, reviewing all scoring plays, having all reviews of instant replays from the last 2 minutes not cost a coach's challenge but come up from the booth, and that's I think that's a good way. Is we lost coach, he dropped. Hopefully he comes back, but you know. Man, you're going to do all that and take steps. That's fantastic. You have 50 cameras on the field in high def. I think that's great. Use it. Use it. There were 3 problems with that, and I believe 2 of which may have been reviewable. Number 1, first of all, when the ball was snapped, the left defensive tackle for the Broncos put his hands on the helmet of the long snapper and pushed that player down. That made it easier for number 31 of the Broncos, the gentleman who his name has escaped me, but the guy who blocked the kick and spurred the return, leapt over the center. Well, first, you don't put your hand on the guy, which is illegal use of the hands. You cannot deliberately block using the head of the neck area. We got coach back. You can't deliberately block using the head of the neck area. That should have been illegal use of the hands. So that's my first problem. That should have been a penalty. I thought I saw the defender who blocked the kick as he went over the line. It looked like he stumbled on someone's thigh or ankle. That should be a penalty. But finally, even if you let all that go and say it's a judgment call, we didn't see it, okay, fine. We have instant replay in the NFL with all this high def, all this tech to right wrongs. And you saw, even on the Fox broadcast, the return man had half of his foot out of bounds. They said, well, his cleat is white, and no. You know, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Yeah, it was close. Yeah, it was only half his foot, but he was out. I could see that at home, and then all these angles come out the next week showing even more clearly that he was out, and nothing was done. So instead of the Saints, I thought they should have been allowed to have a chance to take the lead. I thought there were 2 fouls committed even before the block, but at the very worst case, they should have had a chance to put their defense on the field to force overtime. None of that happened. The Saints got robbed, and that's going to be very costly towards the end of the year. You have a team that now could be 500. Instead, they're 4-6, putting them in a deep hole. They turned the ball over in mass and were too little too late on Thursday night against the Panthers. So that failure could have potentially at the end of the year, you could say could have cost them their season, and that's on the NFL. They took all these steps, they didn't use any. So I'm gonna jump off that soapbox, but that has left me fuming for the last few days as an NFL fan.
It definitely to me it's a bad mark and leaves a bad taste in your mouth. With this whole season has not been really played well, if so to speak. I've been seeing a lot of missed calls. A lot of the referees are starting to, affect the game in a sense. And actually, the ratings are down in the NFL this year, and I think that has a lot to do with it. There has too much technology, and the NFL is too big of a business not to correct and get those little calls like that corrected. And I'm just disappointed in the way the NFL is conducting with their business with the referees. It just doesn't show any progress with the instant replay. It's like, what is it there for if it's not going to get the correct call? And so I'm just very disappointed and just leave a bad taste in my mouth. The NFL is they're trying to regulate everything so much and just not being able to get simple stuff like that. And how can we come back later and then they show a HD or they show a close-up of the guy's foot out of bounds, but they couldn't do that right then. They're supposed to have a instant replay head official in New York or some type of thing, and so then it's so confusing. What's a catch? What's not a catch? These things are starting to catch up, and people are not tuning in as much. It hasn't been really great play this year in the NFL, if you ask me. It's not that many great teams, really.
Yeah, I don't think the lack of ratings has anything to do with that, though. I'm going to disagree with you there, Joker.
The politics, right? I mean, the election.
The election is one reason, absolutely. So the United States has been preoccupied with something a little more important than the NFL. So I believe that is a factor. But I also believe that Will Smith and the movie Concussion, and now that more people are aware of the inherent dangers, the dangerous nature of the sport is also playing a factor. So that doesn't impact the avid fan, but it does impact that casual female fan that now has a little more knowledge about what is going on in the NFL.
Good point.
So yeah, those folks can no longer tolerate watching that impact. So I think that's more of the reason why. I mean, before we went to all this technology, referees miss calls all the time, and folks tuned in, so it happens. Guys, we've had a couple of things that we were anticipating that didn't come to fruition, so we actually have some more time than we actually allotted for. So I'm going to throw out here, and I know no one has had an opportunity to do any research, but the Monday night game is Oakland versus Houston, the Texans, and the Texans are 6-3. The Oakland Raiders are 7-2. If we could just go around the horn and choose who might we think would win that game, and that would also give us an opportunity to pat Joker on the back again for his insights on picking this Raider team to really challenge for that Western Division AFC championship.
First of all, speaking of time, in about 8 minutes' time, we have coming up
Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction
right here on 96.9 FM, WHYRLP, Baton Rouge
Community Radio.
That's a great pick, though, Coach. This is such a strange game. First of all, is that game going to be at Invesco, or is it going to be at the Mausoleum?
I think it's going to be in Oakland.
I'm definitely picking Oakland now. I was kind of on the fence. I said it Mile High. I meant to say it in Houston. Anyway, if it's in Oakland, I'm taking the Raiders. The Texans are a strange team. I just cannot trust them. I don't inherently completely trust Brock Osweiler, and granted he's a young guy, but there's just something inconsistent about him. And the Texans defense without J.J. Watt, what they have is a lot of very, very solid talent. They're a tough defensive team, but J.J. Watt is that explosiveness factor, that nitroglycerin that pushes them and makes them menacing. They don't have that. Daniel Carr of the Raiders, I've been really impressed with this kid. Yeah, and Michael Crabtree, that's Daniel. Gee whiz. Yeah, sorry about that. Derek Carr. Sorry about that. Anyway, I've been really impressed with this kid. Not getting enough sleep here. But Michael Crabtree and seems to have resurrected his reputation in the league. And then on the other side of the ball, you have a kid who coulda, woulda, is a potential superstar on that other side of the ball for the Raiders. So I really like what Oakland's doing. Joker, you saw this light years ahead of all of us. I've got the Raiders. I just cannot trust these Texans.
Yeah, of course I'm going to go with the Raiders in this game. The momentum being in the AFC West, they're doing pretty good. And I predicted they was going to go to the playoffs, and it looks like they're on their way to it if they don't have a major collapse here in the second half of the season. The Texans kind of surprised me this year. I wasn't that high up on them, and now they're 6-3, which is a good record. I think they're number one in the AFC South, because you expected Indianapolis to take that division, but the Texans are in a good, especially without J.J. Watt. I think in a strange way that helps the Texans. So much attention is being on J.J. Watt to kind of give these other guys a chance to be able to blossom. And a lot of times when your star player is out and your defense can seem like they can, relax a little better and get a little bit of shine themselves. This is actually going to be a tough game. The Texans, I don't want to underestimate them, but I have to go with Derek Carr. To me, he's starting to show that he can be an elite quarterback. And of course, and at first I looked at him as, being the younger brother of the other Carr, the other number one pick. Yeah, of David Carr, and he didn't really last. And he played for the Texans. He was the number one pick against the Texans, so what the irony of that is going to be. But I'm definitely going to go with Oakland Raiders to win this game Monday night. Definitely.
Is Derek still with us?
Derek? I'm going to presume not at the moment. So I guess Coach, fire away.
Okay, so I think Derek Carr is tremendously motivated because of the way that he feels his brother was treated in Houston. So I anticipate a big game out of him, and the Oakland Raiders are going to win this game and maintain their lofty status in the AFC West. Guys, who would you say your biggest disappointment of NFL teams are this year so far?
Well, I got to say, go ahead, Derek.
The coach. I'm sorry.
We had Derek. Derek's phone.
I had to rescue a little child who was getting out of a car from running into ongoing traffic at the gas station. So that's why I'm a little out of breath. I had to chase him down.
Wow.
My disappointing pick is the Colts. I was expecting Andrew Luck to bounce back this year, and they haven't really had a good team to me.
And while you were providing that community service, Derek, we actually wanted to pick another game. It was kind of impromptu. The Raiders are hosting the Houston Texans on Monday night. Who do you like in that game?
As much as it's going to pain me to say this, with me being a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan, picking the Raiders is very, very hard. But they have a strong team. They have speed. This is the team that Al Davis envisioned when he tried to draft all those fast players before he died. This team has good wide receivers. They have depth at running back. They have a good young quarterback. They have a awesome defense that can pressure the quarterback. They try to play like the Raider teams of old. And as much as it pains me, I'm going to pick the Raiders. I also like how you linked it back to David Carr. I think that Derek Carr is going to really try to attack that Texans team and say, hey, the Carr name will not be sullied by you. So I am picking it.
Sullied.
Yeah, that's good. That was good.
Sullied.
That was definitely
I like
good.
that one. That's a great choice of a verb.
Yeah. Of course, I know we didn't pick the game last week. Your biggest disappointment and I'm going to go with my biggest surprise.
Thank you for setting me straight. I was going to say, because I let it slip. My biggest disappointment, being a Saints fan, is tempting to say that, but I do think the defense still tempered expectations. My biggest disappointment was the Carolina Panthers, the defending NFC champions. I understand they lost Josh Norman, and they still have not really solved their problem at receiver, but that just they were very lucky to escape with their lives on Thursday night. That's not right now. They're a bad football team. They're a bad football team, and they make a lot of errors. And I don't know where all this came from. It's not Newton. I think Newton they might be on the clock right now. They might have a big zero with Cleveland.
Yeah, he has to take the blame though. He's the leader. If you get all the praise and you're dabbing and everything of those guys winning and not, he has to take the blame. And that's my biggest disappointment too, is the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. My biggest surprise though has to be Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys. They are a legitimate team. We're going to see what's going to happen with this Romo thing and Jerry Jones. It's just looking like he doesn't want to hand the reins over to this young guy.
Did you see the press conference? Did you see the press conference? Tony pretty much gave it up.
Well, he did. I think that's more pressure. I don't think that for him to be politically correct, to try to say the right thing, to try not to, make like he's mad at Dak Prescott or he's envious of it. So I think that's just pretty much, saying the politically correct thing to me. But I just fault Jerry Jones for not handing over the keys to this guy. You got a young stud here. You can also get rid of that salary with Tony Romo to help get this guy even more, him and Ezekiel Elliott, more players. For the future. You could take that $50 million off the books, and you can use that because you're going to have a minimum salary with these guys for 3 years. And just like Russell Wilson did when they was able to get Russell Wilson for $600,000-$700,000 a year, they were able to get other players. They knew they didn't have to worry about no contract extension because it's a rookie contract for at least 3 years. So with Jerry Jones keeping that type of money on the books, talking about a backup quarterback, to me is not feasible, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Coach?
Man, my biggest disappointment are the men in the Louisiana legislature. Good job, Karen Carter. Great job of crushing the cake. I don't know if you all heard about that story.
Oh, wait. Regale us, Perry. In about 30 seconds, but I want to hear this.
So, real quick, the men in the legislature, one representative's wife made the other representative a birthday cake. He had it with a bikini. The cake was in the shape of a woman in a bikini, and it said, "The representative likes his cake and he eats it too." Representative Karen Carter found that extremely offensive to women, so she crushes the cake right there on the floor of the legislature by putting the sign, he likes his cake and he eats it too, in the cake before she crushes it.
Oh, Karen Carter Peterson.
Good for her.
Oh my goodness.
Drama.
That is, and for that she's got to get. I gotta give her a shout out on that one. That was
Machine Gun Kelly.
Straight fire, folks. We're out of time.
Definitely out of time here, man. What a great show. I want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. Check us out on Facebook, and we'll be back next week.
ADT, JNS, love you.
Have a good afternoon, and we'll see Noel Jackson coming up on the other side with Music Satisfaction.
Hail to the king, and lots of love. May he protect us.